And we're recording and we're live. And I've got it muted this time. I'm not like a goddamn dweeb anymore. I've got my shit figured out, motherfucker. What do you think about that, Willie D?
I like it. I likes it.
Well, I guess we're having another podcast from our little rainy corner in Maryland. It's raining like a bitch out here today. Recording, recording for Zoom. We're all live on Facebook. For all you little Facebook motherfuckers that want to join in and watch us, you little people selling jewelry. And that's not even a dig. I used to help my wife do it. So, how was everything for you this week, man? How was your week?
It's going good. Welcome to another episode of the UEBC podcast. Thank you guys for joining us again. We're gonna hopefully this will be another good podcast. My week was great. Dustin, what are your weekly what's been itching your brain here this week?
Tucker Carlson, mainly. And then that what's his name? Steven Crowder. And also, uh show everybody you're medicated today because you're medicated and you said the UEBC podcast. It's the UBEC podcast. We're 14 episodes in, motherfucker. You'd think you'd know that.
What did I say?
UEBC.
Oh yeah, okay. I might have shit.
He just had to say his alphabet real quick to make sure he was right. He's sitting there, whenever you're trying to think of like what the fuck comes after Q. So you go through the whole goddamn alphabet trying to find what comes after Q. You got to say the whole thing.
Okay. I'm medicated today.
He's self-medicated. Right. He's depressed.
I'm medicated today, and I'm not ashamed.
Unashamed, unabashed. But yeah, man, it's been like they're trying to cancel that dude, that Steven Crowder dude, I guess. Like, I don't know if you've seen it. There was a video of him like yelling at his wife because she wouldn't put a bandage on his dog or something.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it.
And I just thought it was silly. Like, I mean, yeah, he's a dick. I don't like him particularly, really. I mean, I never really enjoyed his show. He comes off as like a presumptuous prick, like me, I guess. So maybe that's why I don't like him. But I don't know. I don't like the whole cancel culture thing either. I've always been against that. The cancel culture shit just pisses me off. I don't care if they try to cancel, Joe Biden, Trump, Oprah, fucking Whoopi Goldberg. I don't want to see anybody get canceled. I love seeing crazy ass motherfuckers, whatever their opinion is. That's the whole, like, I don't care. Dylan Mulvaney, let that bitch speak. Do whatever. I don't care. I don't have to listen to you, but you should be able to speak. So it's just like, I don't know. I've been thinking about that shit. And it's like, in that situation, there's always two fucking sides to the story. Who's not saying, and that's why Tucker Carlson is on my brain too, because I like saying cunt a lot. So apparently, like, that's what they're saying. Like, that's what got him kicked off the air. Like, Fox and him decided to part ways or whatever happened there was because he said cunt. It's like, are you fucking serious? You know how many people have you ever been in the room with an Australian or a British person? Like, do you know how many times they say fucking cunt? They say it all the time.
Right. Yeah, they say it a lot.
So it's like, but what made my brain go in that direction is like, maybe his wife was being a fucking cunt about like putting some medicine or a bandage on the dog. And he's just like, look, bitch, you're not a good wife. You're not doing your wifely duties, which that whole thing's stupid too. But, he's a jackass. But that doesn't mean like they're trying to fucking cancel him over him being a jackass. Like, obviously people like him being a jackass because he has millions of fucking followers and listeners.
Yeah, I didn't realize this, but he's the change my mind guy. He's the meme.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. See, I feel like an idiot, but I didn't realize that until later on that's that guy. He's been a controversial dude ever since he's been on the scene. You know that?
Yeah, I just think he's a jackass, my personal opinion. But like I said, if I met him, I'd probably like him. I don't know. I don't like the format that he does, I guess. And I've never really listened to enough of him, but it's just because he doesn't grasp my interest. Like, I like outlandish, outrageous figures like fucking Joe Rogan and Alex Jones and Joey Diaz and people like that. Like, just outrageous motherfuckers that say whatever is on their mind. He's like, I don't know. He wants to be like mainstream news, but he wants to kind of have like that vibe of like, he's self-promoting and shit.
Yeah.
I guess like he wants to be like, it's like a rapper that says that they're independent and they're like from the streets and shit, but they're signed to like Warner Brothers or something.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
doesn't work too good.
yeah. So it's like, are you really like, yeah, I'm out here still making mixtapes, yet they're making like $50 million, a year. They're charging like $1,000 a seat for their nosebleeds at their concerts. It's like, you ain't living the struggle. It's what I've always said though about like politicians, athletes, and all this shit. Man, the motherfuckers don't understand what it's like to be a regular person.
I have to wonder if maybe some of these rappers and athletes actually are living the struggle because, have you seen some of them that have like 10, 12 kids and like Young Thug, I think the rapper, he was one of them. He had like 12 kids. I think Ocho Cinco, uh, that the football player, he had like 9 kids. And it's like, dude, no matter how much money they're making, if they're paying child support to even say like 3 or 4 baby mamas, it's a percentage of their income. And, let's say that all their income is over the table like it should be. And I'm not saying it's not. They're getting a chunk of their income taken out every single month.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't think about that part. And then it also goes into like people that pay it's not just child support, it's alimony too.
Yeah, alimony. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Which to me, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. It's so stupid. Like she was used to living his lifestyle. Like, so what? That bitch doesn't have to go out and work on her own, or that dude, like that fucking dickhead doesn't have to go out, like, because there's dudes that get it too from their rich wives, their famous wives and shit.
Yeah,
But it's like, so you're just leeching off the fucking person that, like, in some of their settlements are like hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year.
yeah, yep. They're
It's like,
pretty. It's
what?
yeah,
I
you're
can't
right.
afford diapers with my fucking $500,000 a year I get in child support and the 2 million I get in alimony.
And that's what I always wondered about Young Thug. It's like he's spending so much money on jewelry. Like he'll tell you, like this necklace 300,000. With this 250 on the watch or whatever, and he's buying. He is actually buying the shit. And then he was running a gang too, so you can't really use Young Thug as that example. But using him as an example for this, how can he afford that? Imagine what he's paying in child support and whatever. A lot of them are paying off, court fees and lawyers and attorneys and this and that. And you think by the end of the day, they're really not bringing home that much.
Yeah, but the saying is rich people don't go broke the same way poor people do.
Well, that's true too.
They got so much protection and like they just file bankruptcy or they figure shit out and they got their name out there anyway. So all they have to do is like you make some appearances and do whatever. You know,
Yeah.
if we're broke, it's like, bitch, we're negative 200 in the bank account. We got to go to get work all week. We can't afford gas. We don't get paid for 2 weeks. And it's like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
Them, they just sell that little chain that he had. He puts that on consignment or something.
The guy that's living in the Ozark Trail tent, 10 blocks from the White House, is not eligible to file for bankruptcy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's a whole different scenario, a whole different world between everybody. But yeah, so I've been thinking about that, man. Just cancel culture, dude. I can't fucking stand it. And I sent it to you. You know why we don't like cancel culture, like our generation? Some of our generation do, but it's because they're fucked up parents. It's because Jerry Springer. We grew up with
Yeah.
fucking Jerry Springer. Like, how can you want someone to get canceled if you lived your life watching fucking Jerry Springer and Maury and shit?
I know that's the truth too, man.
Like, cause that shit was outrageous, bro. Like watching fucking Jerry Springer, we all used to do it, man. We used to sneak it if we weren't allowed to watch it. And then
Yep.
there was a certain point of time our parents were just like, we can't fucking keep it back. Like, there's no way to hold them back from watching it. And look at all he gave us. I mean, he gave us Steve Wilkos after Jerry Springer, Jesse Raphael. She started popping off. And for the WWF, or which is now the WWE, Vince Russo took like the style of, and he's not a wrestling guy. He was never a wrestling guy. I think he was a producer maybe for Jerry Springer, but he was in that environment like TV producing.
Yeah.
And that's where the WWF got their attitude era type shit from, was from like the reactive TV days of Jerry Springer and shit.
Yeah, and that's the truth. And I'll tell you another thing. Fucking Maury. You remember Maury before Maury before Maury was really popping off? He was a serious show. It was a really serious, down to earth show. And then it seemed like once he saw the ratings from Wilkos and Springer, then he started making a show where people get on there and wild out and say all kind of stupid shit. I'm pregnant with my sister's boyfriend's. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Remember
that shit
Maury?
never got old. It never got old. You knew as soon as it said you were not the father, that woman was gonna run off and go crying in the back, flipping, like rolling off of fucking sofas and shit.
Oh
Whoa, whoa, it had to be him. And it's like, like they've done tested like 25 guys.
my god.
Like it's like that show can make you like lose hope in humanity, or it's just like, man, it's almost like a fucking cartoon.
Yeah, it is, dude. You're right. It's just like a cartoon.
It's like there was one like where the dude was sleeping with uh his fucking brother's or his wife's brother or some shit like that, and it's like, what the fuck is even going on here? But man, so RIP to the legend
Yeah.
Jerry Springer, but he gave us he gave the inspiration for a lot of people. I mean, he totally changed the way TV was, especially like daytime syndicated type TV. Like
Right.
you had to tune in. I mean,
Remember Jerry's final word where he would always have like a heartfelt like
it's
thing at the end of it.
it was awesome. Yeah, he'd like, and it would always be like pertaining to the episode too.
Yeah.
And there was some controversy too about how they got people in, and like pretty much like people were making shit up or like they'd fabricate, but who fucking cares, dude? It was too good. But did you hear it was I don't remember what the TV host's name was, but she had a similar TV style like that daytime live TV or whatever it was. But like there was a guy that fell in love with another guy, and he told him on the show, and the dude was like humiliated,
Yeah.
and he ended up fucking killing him.
Yep. Yep. I know all about that story. I've watched a couple videos about that.
Was that Sally Jesse Raphael or whatever? Or
You
no, it
know
was
what?
Jenny. It was the Jenny show or whatever.
Jenny, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, but he after the show, it was like 2 days later, he went and killed and murdered that dude that said that he loved him. It
Yeah,
was
but
it was it was like his best friend too, wasn't it? Weren't they
or
really
his
good
neighbor or
friends?
something like that. Yeah, it
I
was
don't know. I
something.
can't remember.
But it's like, they should have had some kind of disclosure, like because that dude was totally in the dark to what was happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, it did make for classic TV. You can't deny that. Like just
Oh,
seeing
absolutely.
that deer in the headlights look is just like
That was
goddamn.
classic.
And then man, I used to remember them little badass kids they'd have on Mari too.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'd be like they'd send them to the fucking jail and shit.
Uh-huh.
And it's like
And
they end up fucking like crying and shit. Oh, what wanted my mommy.
they'd send them to like a scared straight program at the prison, or else they would send them like a boot camp thing, and they'd have to go through their drill instructions, be screaming out, and they'd be on the ground like crying and everything. You're not so tough now, are you? You ain't tough now.
Dude, we had some of the wildest fucking TV.
Yeah.
We had Jerry Springer, that we had the Real World, which was fucking wild. We had, and that gave us the Miz. And then we had fucking Fear
Road rules.
Factor. Yeah, Road Rules, Fear Factor. Road Rules gave us goddamn Theo
Theo
Vaughn.
Vaughn, yeah.
He Kai the hitchhiker's stepbrother. Did you hear about him like getting sued by Kai the hitchhiker or some shit?
Yeah, I saw a clip.
Because someone made a video and like Theo reshared it. And they're like, he got a letter from his attorney or some shit from because Kai the hitchhiker apparently is in prison.
Yeah, he is.
I was like, fuck that dude. Like you're just trying, and that's another getting rich off someone else's name. He's just
Yep.
like them baby mamas and those baby daddies, just a good for nothing trying to get rich off somebody.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe you shouldn't have fucking did what you did. Smash, bitch. Like maybe you should have held that hatchet a little tighter and just not swung it at anybody or whatever the fuck else he did. But yeah, man, fucking eating deer dicks and shit on TV and Survivor in the old days, everything was just wild. Like people just didn't give a fuck. Like if they tried saying half the shit that they said on TV back then, oh, it'd be canceled before it even aired.
Yeah, it wouldn't fly.
There'd just be fucking blue hairs all in the streets. Blue hairs, pink hairs, green hairs. They'd be in the streets outraged wearing fucking vagina costumes and shit. Just mad about everything. Can you believe that they fed them deer testicles and a deer penis? Why couldn't they use the vagina and the ovaries and all of that instead of using a penis? It's the patriarchy. The patriarchy. It's so racist and sexist and xenophobic and just every other fucking ick word. It's like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking ist. You're just an ist. That you need to fucking make a word that has ist in it to be fucking enraged. Dick sucking motherfuckers.
Let's get into some news.
Yeah, let's get in the news before I get all fucking red faced.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Coming for your kids. They did it in the pizza shop. Don't go there though. I'll get sued again. I can't afford it. They got me for $1 trillion. That fucking bitch judge.
Are you a fan of Nicolas Cage? Any of his movies?
Yeah, dude. He's fucking weird as shit. I love him.
Doesn't it seem like Nicolas Cage takes like it's almost like they'll throw any script they throw at him, it's now he'll just take it,
Didn't he go broke too?
Well, it's interesting because that's what's going to lead into this article from the Insider here that was published on April 25th. The title is Nicolas Cage says he took crummy movie roles to pay off $6 million debt after he overinvested in real estate and bought several castles and an island. And I'm looking at the picture, dude. This castle is pretty lavish, man. I mean, it's not a huge castle, but it's got that old look to it. It's called the Midford Castle in Somerset, England.
The Midford?
Yeah, he bought it in 2007. While you're looking that up, Nicolas Cage said he took crummy roles after he overinvested in real estate and lost money. It wasn't because I spent $80 on an octopus, he said, of a $6 million debt on 60 Minutes. So $80 million on a No, $80 on an octopus. What the fuck? Okay, he spent $80 on an octopus. I'm sorry.
Is this the castle?
Yeah, that's it. See, it's not a big castle, but
it's a castle nonetheless.
It's a castle nonetheless. It's probably old as shit. The actor once owned castles in Germany and England, as well as a mansion in New Orleans.
That dude's wild, man. Like, over invested in, that's not investing in real estate. Investing in real estate is buying a property and with the expectation of reaping a reward, like gaining profit from it. No, you just shit away money. Like you just fucked off and bought shit that you thought was cool. You didn't invest in anything. You invested in your pleasure.
Well, hold on. Let me stop you there because it gets even better. So, along with the mansion in New Orleans, he also had a private island in the Bahamas and also had eccentric purchases such as a dinosaur skulls and a pet octopus. I heard about the dinosaur skulls. Like he's really big into fossils and dinosaur skeletons and stuff like that.
Not denying it's cool shit, but that's why there were no bad investments. There was a shitty way that you spent your money.
Right.
Where was his accountant at and all this? Like, dude, do you really need a fucking pet octopus? Like, everybody loves octopus. They're cool. They're, squids and octopus, they're octopi, whatever the fuck you want to say. They're all cool fucking animals. But do you need to own one? And does it have to cost the amount of money? Like, go out in the ocean and deep sea dive, find one and rescue it. Bring it back to your mansion, to your fucking castle in England.
You know what? I think Nicolas Cage is the case of the guy that probably didn't have a whole lot of money to begin with. And then once he started taking roles, he started getting a lot of money. And he's like, shit, I have so much money. I can spend it on anything I want. And it's almost like, you spend money just because you have it, not because you need or even really want something. You just spend it because you have it. And then he realized after however a decade of doing this, like, oh fuck, I'm in $6 million in debt. Wow.
Yeah, he was getting those paydays from like Arizona, Con Air, gone in 60 seconds, and that shit stopped. And he's like, there's no money coming. It would probably stop because he wasn't making movies because he was too goddamn busy buying fucking castles in Germany, England, and buying a squid and fucking looking for dinosaur skulls and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty much what I'm thinking too.
Like he went buck wild. He's like those people that win the lottery. You know, they win like $100 million and 2 years later they're broke.
All right. Well, look, Nick's a crazy dude. And since we're on the topic of movies, since we're discussing movies and actors, and right now, I'm sure you've heard about the whole DeSantis Disney quarrel going back and forth, which it's hard to avoid. But in this article, I think you're going to find pretty interesting. This is from a website called Inside the Magic. Now, I've never read any articles from these guys, so I don't know how credible they are, but we'll go ahead anyway. This was posted on April 26th. Governor DeSantis makes activity illegal in Disney World.
He makes activity.
Governor DeSantis has reached an extended well into the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, with certain activity now illegal. For those who need a refresher, Disney's Reedy Creek Improvement District was recently overtaken by the state of Florida after Governor Ron DeSantis led a charge against the company for calling out the state's controversial bill. The bill, commonly referred to as the Don't Say Gay bill, caused outrage nationwide, as well as lots of problems for Bob Chapek, who is the CEO of Walt Disney. So we know all of that. I'm sure you've heard of most of that.
Yeah. I don't,
Are you
don't
on the
say
article?
gay. Yeah, I just shared it while you were reading. But like, don't say gay. Like the name that they gave that bill, I don't know if that's even the real name of it, but like it's pretty much just saying like before a certain age in school, like don't discuss sexual preferences with kids, which to me that makes sense. I mean, I've said it before on this podcast, like a kid that is 6 years old doesn't give a fuck about who they're eventually going to have sex with. They're 6 goddamn years old. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it doesn't need to be a conversation, in my opinion. And Disney is just like, they're the big fucking media there. And I don't know, like, who fucking cares about, like, the whole fucking thing just Disney, DeSantis. Like, I don't know. I left fucking Florida for a reason. It's a fucking weird place with weird goddamn people, including the governor.
So are you saying DeSantis is not going to get your vote?
Yeah, I wouldn't vote for him.
No.
No, I don't. I mean, he's an idiot. He just looks like a fucking caveman troll. Like he looks like a fucking dumbass. Just base and like when you hear him speak, to me, there's nothing special about him. I think he just says what he needs to say to get elected, and I just don't feel like the dude gives me weird fucking vibes.
So you're saying you don't think he's genuine?
No, not at all. And he's a creepy fucking guy. He looks like similar to my ex's brother too, like in his eyes and shit. And that maybe turns me off a little bit from him. But yeah, I don't like him. I don't know. And he just doesn't. There's nothing special about him. He doesn't have that it factor. It's like, I guess on the other side of the spectrum, if Cory Booker ran for the fucking Democrats, I bet you they could say that. Like, there's some people that are ardent fans of his, like they just fucking love Cory Booker. But a lot of the base that just, what the fuck,
Well,
or like Elizabeth Warren, like for the Democrat side, like who, or even like as much as I hate to say it, and this is like the opposite side of the spectrum because I love the guy, but like Rand Paul or Ron Paul. Like I fucking love them. I think they're amazing. I think they do a great job, but for the most of the base of the right side base, they're just like, they don't do anything special. I mean, I love it. Fucking Rand Paul getting up there and like bashing Fauci and shit. It's like, and he's like, "Sir, you're not a doctor," and it's like, yeah, I am, you dumb fuck. I would love to see Rand Paul just lose his fucking mind and be like, "I am a fucking doctor, dipshit. I
All right.
am the science."
Well, look, since we're going political here, let's move on to another article that falls into that category. All right. Jim Justice. All right. Governor of West Virginia. You know anything about Jim? Jim is a
Yeah,
crazy dude.
yeah. You know what?
He's
He's a corrupt motherfucker too.
I know, yeah, he is a crazy corrupt guy. And you can look him up. Like if you dig deep, you'll find some pretty crooked stuff that he did. So much I can't even keep track of everything.
It was with coal mines and shit.
Yeah, but he did other stuff too, man. He did some really shady deals in real estate and everything. But Jim Justice is the current West Virginia governor, for those of you that don't know. But on the 27th, which was yesterday, Jim Justice files to run for the Mansion Senate seat. And this article was published by The Hill, if you want to look it up, Dustin. So Jim Justice is going to he's going to throw his hat in the ring for a run for Senate against Joe Manchin, who's the current senator of West Virginia.
What's the
Yeah,
article's name? Jim Justice files to run for Manchin's Senate seat.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, because there's another one. Senate GOP smells blood or some shit like that. Fuck, they're so fantastical, and they write these articles. It's so goddamn stupid.
So, what are your opinions on this, though? You knowing a little bit about Jim Justice and his background, and of course, we know about Joe Manchin, who's not a terrible guy, but he's not the best in the world either.
Well, I mean, Jim Justice, he's the governor, so I mean, he has a shot. A state like West Virginia is a red state. I think he's got a shot at it. I don't know, like I wouldn't support him, but thank God I don't live in fucking West Virginia. I say that their taxes are lower, you can own guns and all that shit, but I don't know. I don't like him. I don't care for Manchin either. Like what is Jim Justice going to do? Is he going to fucking run as a Democrat and then switch again like he did before? Is he going to run as a Republican against Manchin and then if he wins, switch to a fucking Democrat? Like,
Isn't that crazy?
that's what he did to get the
Yeah,
when he won the governorship. He was a Democrat and then he fucking flips to the Republican side.
I know. I couldn't believe that. That was the craziest thing I ever heard, man.
Remember when, like, I think it was back in like the 2004 election, the flip flopper? They were always like, John Kerry's a flip flopper, John McCain's a flip flopper. Whoever else was running, Tim Kaine. No, it wasn't Tim Kaine. It was
John McCain.
what was his name?
Oh, oh yeah. Wah!
Yeah,
Or whatever
that
he did.
fucking that buried
Yeah.
him.
Uh-huh. Dave Chappelle ate that up, man.
I can't
Yeah.
remember his name, but yeah, that was great. He gets up on stage and he's like, "Yeah!"
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck just happened? Fucking John Kerry. My dad loved John Kerry.
All right. Well,
It's so great because like my whole family were Democrats, and then like my dad was for a long time. Loved Clinton, loved Kerry. Al Gore he wanted to win, and then like Trump comes along, and he's like this ultra fucking conservative.
yeah, Trump did that to a lot of people, man. He switched a lot of people over the aisle.
Yeah, I know, but it was just wild to see like the transformation, and like he'll sit
Yeah.
there and talk to me about like the GOP or the Republicans and I was like, I've been a Republican since I was able to vote. You were a Democrat for most of your fucking life.
Oh shit. All right, let's get away from politics, man. Are you familiar with the Last of Us? We've talked about that on the show yet? Have you watched The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't finished the I think the last two episodes, but I've watched it. I just forget about it. But
Well, you know how the whole thing goes. It's like a fungus that infects humans, and that's
it's
what turns.
it's cordyceps.
Yeah, that's what turns them into the zombies.
Yeah, it's cordyceps mushrooms.
Yeah. All right. Well, check this out, dude. Then you're gonna like this. All right. This is from ScienceAlert.com, published on the 3rd of April. Plant fungus infects human in the first reported case of its kind. Silverleaf disease is a curse for a variety of botanicals, from pears to roses to rhododendron. Infecting their leaves and branches, the fungus Chondrodrosterum, I'm not even going to try to say that. Dustin, just bring the article up.
Is it
Can be a
it's science alert, right?
Yeah, it can be fatal for the plant if quickly treated. Research suggests in what researchers suggest is the first reported case of its kind. A 61-year-old Indian mycologist appears to have contracted a rather serious case of the silverleaf disease in his own throat, providing a rare example of a pathogen seemingly making an enormous leap across the entire kingdoms in the tree of life. So this is a fungus that would normally infect a plant, now is able to infect us human beings, which is pretty amazing, I guess, for lack of better terms.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, isn't that like in the show that you've watched the show, right? Or haven't you?
Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah,
So isn't that where like was it in India also in the fucking TV show? Like when they first found out about it, that they had that woman doctor come in.
Yeah, I think it was.
So how fucking outrageous is it that this is in India too?
Well, they always say the Illuminati, they put stuff out in plain sight. They're always using through pop culture and everything. Well, think about how popular that show was, the video game even as well. Now you're hearing reports of fungus infecting human beings. It's kind of like, okay.
And like the Corvinus virus, that the China says that it was made by Americans and put in the Wuhan lab.
Right.
Like, and then we say it's Chinese. It's like, well, who is it? It might not even be American. It's just the Illuminati doing it. But yeah, that's fucking crazy, dude. We're gonna be taken over by fucking fungi now. It's just
Isn't that cool?
it's gonna reclaim the planet, or maybe it's that species next. They're the next main one. But are they turning them into zombies though?
No, it's not turning them into zombies, but it's giving this guy a sore throat and a couple other mild symptoms. But I bet Paul Stamets is like busting a nut over this article. I'm sure he heard all about it. He's just losing his shit.
He's probably angry. He's probably sitting somewhere right now just raging on about like motherfuckers are trying to get rid of mushrooms because
Yeah,
he's so mad about the cordyceps even like
yeah.
because apparently cordyceps is great for you. I don't know anything about it, but have you ever seen that show, or it's not a show, the movie? It's kind of like similar, but it's not like from a fungus, but or anything like that. The Crazies.
The Crazies. I want to say yes. I think I have seen that. It
It's where
sounds
they're in
familiar.
like where the fuck are they? They're like in Utah or some shit like that.
Yeah,
And there's a military plane that crashes
yeah,
and it releases this contagion and it spreads to the population there, and like they all just start going crazy, and like the military just starts killing people too. Like they get like enraged and they start attacking each other, but the
yeah.
military just like, even if they're not infected, they just kill them. And it's like a quarantine zone where they just kill everybody. And I'm gonna ruin it for everybody because shit, the movie came out in 2010. So if you motherfuckers haven't seen this movie in 13 years, that's on you, not me. But at the end of the goddamn movie, so they're going towards like the big city or whatever, and like it shows the satellite image like zooming down and saying like contagion detected, start quarantine protocol for the big city. They just escaped, like narrowly fucking escaped this little small town, and they're going to the city, and it's gonna fucking happen there too. It's like, god damn, man, I felt so bad for him like in the movie, but it was a great movie. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what if this shit really could fucking happen?
I've seen that movie. I know what you're talking about. That is pretty fucking. I thought about that too. I was like, man, that's like so possible.
And that's like a huge kick in the nuts. Imagine getting to that town, that city, after you just went through all you went through, just to have it like. But now it's even worse because you're, rather than being around, maybe a couple thousand people, there's, a million plus in that city that you've got to fucking try to fend off. And what's to say like they don't just, well, because I think they nuked the little town They just gonna nuke the city too.
Yeah, and then
Or like,
you got more problems. You got nuclear fallout then.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do if you're not a zombie? You're gonna be irradiated with fucking cancer growing a fucking foot out of your head and shit.
Exactly, dude. That nuclear, man, it's almost a double-edged sword with the nuclear warfare, you know? There's no good way because even if we would nuke somebody, then we got to worry about the winds coming over to us and then it's
Well, like the
no
way the
good.
jet stream works and all that.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And then like that's that game that I play, Fallout,
Yeah,
Fallout 4. They have I'm gonna pull it up. It's called a Rad Stag, but it's
Fallout's the shit.
Fallout's an awesome game. Come on, give me the picture. It's all I fucking want is the picture. So I can show these fucking clowns what I'm looking at. Like if you haven't played the game, it looks like that's a Rad Stag. It's got fucking rad scorpions. They've
Yeah,
got death claws, which wherever the fuck that death claw came from, that thing's like a goddamn dinosaur.
that's
You
crazy.
know, but that's and they have like super mutants and shit, like which were humans at first, and
Yeah.
then they're like big hulking creatures, and then you have the fuck do they call them? It's not a synth. That's like a robot kind of thing. It's people that are like irradiated, uh, but they live and they end up living forever. I can't remember what they call them. I played that game, dude. I've put over 300 hours into that game, and I can't remember what the fuck they call the like. They look like zombies. Like they don't have a nose. Their skin's all wrinkly and shit. But like they end up living forever. But that's all from like nuclear fallout and shit because China and us go to war. But
All
it's
right.
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
But
I know. I've played some of it. I like Fallout's a great series, man. The story is the best, you know.
yeah, no, you got these fanboys that think that they could write shit better. That it's like Fallout 4 story sucked, or Fallout New Vegas sucked, or this one's my favorite. And the Bethesda doesn't know what they're doing. Shut the fuck up. Then you go make a video game if you think you're so great at it.
Yeah,
That shit
that's
kind of that pulls my tit, dude, whenever people get like that. And they do it with wrestling too, because I watch wrestling sometimes. But they'll be like, if I were Triple H or if I were Vince McMahon, I would write the story this way because this guy's my favorite wrestler and he deserves it. It's like, shut the fuck up. If your opinion fucking mattered, don't you think you'd be involved?
they're just armchair elitists.
Yeah, it's you think it's or fucking like Eagles fans, you know?
Don't go there. We don't want to trigger a quarter of the city of Philadelphia again. God damn, dude, those people, they're fucking babies, man. You know, fucking whiny little.
It's the worst. They're the that's why I said Philly's the worst. Their fans
Dude,
are shitty.
we have got the worst comments on the Philly clips in the Philly sections of the video, haven't we? They're
Yeah.
the just like snarkiest little shitty remarks.
And you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. And it's been said before, so I can't take credit for it. I heard it
Don't
on Joe
do it.
Rogan, but
Don't do it.
listen, the reason I think Bill Burr said it, the reason that fucking Philly is so mad is because their sports teams are so goddamn shitty that the only statue that they have in the entire fucking city of Philadelphia is of a fictional fucking athlete, Rocky Balboa.
Dude, their football team made it to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, fucking off luck. Fuck Philly. I just don't
Uh,
like Philly. I don't like the assholes from Philly. I just don't like anything about Philly. If the crazies happened in Philly and they had to fucking nuke it, I'd be perfectly okay with it.
All right, let's get to some more news, man. We got some follow up news from la- uh, last week's episode. Yeah, last week's episode. We got some drug news. We have some. Let's see. Dustin, let's do some nose picking news because everybody knows we're big nose pickers, right?
Yeah, well, we need to keep that quiet though, because we'll end up with fucking 15 goddamn emails from this weird ass creepy dude that wants us to send him pictures of us and videos of us picking our nose while we're wearing a fucking diaper and shit.
It'll be the nose picking fetish guys will come out of the woodworks for this one.
Yeah, but yeah, let's go ahead with it. Nose picking news.
All right, this is another one from Science Alert. I'm not too familiar with Science Alert, so guys, take this with a grain of salt. Fact check it if you need to. Mouse studies suggest an unexpected link. I'm sorry. Mouse studies suggest an unexpected link between nose picking and Alzheimer's.
Get the fuck out of here.
You
What?
ready? You ready for this? A 2022 study revealed a tenuous but plausible link between picking your nose and upping the chances of developing dementia. In cases where picking at your nose damages internal tissues, critical species of bacteria gain an easier path to the brain, which responds to bacteria's presence in ways that resemble signs of Alzheimer's disease.
So it's not just your brain getting old, it's because you fucking pick your nose.
Because you picked your nose most of your life.
Get out of here. I mean, it's not good to pick your nose and like touch, but it's because your nose harbors a bunch of fucking bacteria. I mean, that's why you got those little goddamn nose hairs and ear hairs and shit. Like behind your ears, your nose, the sides and the corners of your nose, like that's filthy. I'm sure that there's more bacteria in your fucking nose from the particulates that it catches than it's even on your hands.
Well,
But when
that's
you
what the
stick your hand and then you touch your fucking nuts and you end up with a sore down there because you went boogered to nuts, what are you going to do then? I don't think there's a fucking any kind of, and that's the whole problem with fucking animal studies, dude. Animal studies, like, yeah, they're somewhat helpful, but do studies on humans.
dude. Never go boogers to nuts.
Never go boogers to nuts. It's
that's the new.
dangerous.
That's the new saying now. Never go boogers to nuts.
Boogers to nuts or boogers to butts. You don't want to do.
Well, check this out,
I mean,
man.
you don't want to be sitting there picking your nose while your girlfriend's blowing you, and then take your nose or your finger out of your nose and stick it in her butthole either.
That's disgusting. Do you still have the article up on your end?
Yeah.
All right. If you go down to one of these paragraphs, the one I'm at, listen to this. So, a team of researchers led by the scientists from Griffith University in Australia ran tests with a bacteria called, and correct me if I'm wrong, chlamydia pneumoniae. So, I guess this is like a form of chlamydia, which can infect humans and cause pneumonia. The bacteria have also been discovered in a majority of human brains affected by late onset dementia. So this is a bacteria, a type of chlamydia that can infect humans and infect their brain. And that what is, am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, I mean that's that's weird, dude. I don't
That
know.
crazy? That's pretty fucking crazy though, man.
Yeah, we just need more research on it. Like mice. I mean mice lack what makes humans different is pretty much our frontal lobe of our brain. And like animals, like so dementia in a rat isn't going to look the same as dementia in a fucking human. And if it's late onset, I don't know what the difference between early onset and late onset is, but late onset sounds like, you get old and like you're going to die and your brain just stops kind of fucking working the right way. So maybe, yeah, you're a blithering fucking idiot and you're sitting there like you're picking your nose and eating it and your immune system's worn out by that time. Because I mean, you lived a whole full life and now your immune system's compromised because you're just old as fuck and your white blood cells are like, man, we're tired of guarding you. You shot needles and you fucking fucked hookers in the ass and all this. It's like you put us to the test, and now the thing that's going to kill you is your nose.
Speaking of speaking of fucking hookers and putting needles inside of you and everything, Dustin, I got a question. This could be a personal one for you, but have you ever done cocaine?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, apparently there is an epidemic of pink cocaine making its way to Europe's party scene right now. Known as Tusi or pink cocaine, a new drug is a mix of substances. The unpredictable blend of substances makes it more dangerous. First popular in Colombia, is now spreading to Europe. This is the second article we've read since we started this show about them now mixing substances. Remember last time it was the trank. They were mixing
Yeah.
fentanyl with tranquilizers. Now this is this new pink cocaine shit. All right. If you
Where'd
want
you
to
get
look,
this article from?
this article is on News Nation. News Nation Now. Just look up newsnationnow.com pink cocaine.
I know how to use Google.
So authorities in Europe are warning of a new eye-catching drug circulating on the club scene. Let's see. Contrary to what the name might suggest, it doesn't include cocaine.
Yeah, well,
But
see,
it,
if you're buying cocaine that's in powder form already, you already lost the fucking game. Like, you don't snort that shit if it's powdery.
well, hold on. It doesn't include cocaine, but it's actually a mixture of ketamine with MDMA or amphetamines.
Mm,
Sometimes hallucinogens are added to mix as well, or caffeine.
that sounds delicious.
Doesn't that sound wild as shit, man?
That sounds awesome, man. Europeans, man, they always get the best shit.
All right,
They don't
check
fuck
this.
around. You're not have to worry about any fucking fentanyl with Europeans. They just want to do a bunch of fucking ketamine and MDMA. They're like, can we mix it? Oh, yeah, we can. We're gonna get fucked up.
Hold on, get this. It gets even better than this. All, as well as being pink, it's powder dyed bright pink and often scented to smell like strawberries. The
Oh man,
the unpredictable mix of drugs makes it dangerous, as varying recipes make it impossible for users to know exactly what they're ingesting. This shit sounds crazy.
that sounds like candy, dude. Fucking pixie sticks.
That's
I wonder if it's smooth when it goes down.
God, isn't that crazy? It says bus for Tusi, which is the pink cocaine, have been on the rise in Spain, with authorities finding drug traffickers importing the drug. As Tusi uses increases, users should be wary of the lab created drug, since it is impossible to know what is in any given batch, which we already read. So man, Trank and now Tusi, the pink cocaine, which ironically is not even cocaine.
Tusi the pussy. Tusi the pussy drug.
Isn't that nuts, dude?
Dude, that sounds like a fucking that sounds like a dog pixie sticks. Sounds fucking amazing. It's flavored, dude. It's fucking flavored. Wait until they come out with like blue cocaine and green cocaine. Like it's gonna be blue raspberry flavored fucking MDMA and shit. And if they can find out the science to make it go down smooth if you snort it, or you just fucking make you mix it in your little fucking water bottle and mix it up like it's a Crystal Light package, and you
Why
fucking
do
drink it.
why do I feel like right now we're just at the very beginning of, think about 15, 20 years from now, the kind of drugs that are going to be out. I mean, look how far cannabis has came with the vapes now. I mean, dude, we used to roll up a blunt, and the way we would feel off of that, you can get it off of 2 hits of some of these cartridges. We're talking 89, 90% THC,
Dude, some of the fucking weed you can get as high as we got off a fucking blunt with one hit off of the just the fucking flower itself because they roll that shit and crystallize THC.
Why do I feel like a 2007, 2008 Dustin would have loved Tusi? I mean,
Oh, it would
you
have
would
been
have lost
amazing.
you would have lost your mind, dude.
That's what I'm
That would
sitting
have
here.
been
I'm
it.
getting excited about it. Like, I mean, obviously I'm a grown fucking adult now. I'm not going to go looking for it. But dude, if it showed up, I might do it. I'm not going
Um,
to buy it, but what happens happens sometimes. I don't know. I wouldn't trust it in America though. It'd be fucking laced with fentanyl or something.
you're not gonna kick her out of bed, right?
What's that?
Yeah, stay away from huh?
What'd you say?
I didn't say anything. I was listening to you.
Oh, what? Cut out for a second and then,
Yeah, you cut out too.
oh, well, we cut out, we cut in. But yeah, and speaking of cutting, what I was saying, you get that shit in America, you got to worry about it being cut with fentanyl or something. So, if I'm in Europe or something and someone offers me some pink cocaine, I'd do it out there, but not in America.
And I just thought of something. So it started in Colombia. Smells like or smells or tastes like strawberries, whatever it said. I mean, I bet this shit is hard for drug dogs to sniff out too.
Yeah, but they're trained for like, I mean, how sensitive dogs' noses are and shit. They can because people try to mask like mushrooms and peanut butter and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think that actually works to trick them. Or coffee. I think coffee is a big one because coffee really kills sense.
Yeah, those cartels, man, they use everything from coffee to kerosene, motor oil, anything that's got a really pungent scent. But the thing is, now the border people are trained to smell that stuff out, you know, so they know what's fake and what's legit.
You cut out for a second while you were talking.
I said, now the drug dogs, or now that the border control people, they know how to look for, like, when something smells heavy, like coffee or motor oil or whatever. They know that, okay, well, there might be drugs there, so they're gonna rip it apart regardless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something that raises suspicion for him. Have you like speaking of like drugs of the future, and it's not something, but have you seen that the newer Judge Dredd from like 2012?
No, I haven't.
It's got what's his name? Have you seen the show on Amazon, The Boys?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about that plays in it. I don't know what his name is, but I haven't seen the
Yeah,
show.
it's Carl Urban.
Yeah,
But
okay.
they got this drug in that Judge Dredd. It's called slow mo. It's like in an inhaler, and you hit it, and it slows time down to like you're only experiencing like a tenth of the time of like reality. And they like there's this one like at the beginning of the movie, she's like she finds people competing for the drug trade, so she has her little goons skin them alive, and she makes them take a hit of the slow mo before they do that. So
Oh,
they're
okay.
as they're being skinned alive, they're like
Oh,
experiencing all the pain, and then she drops them down like 40 floors after they take a hit of that slow mo shit.
it's like bullet time in video games.
Yeah, yeah, exactly like that. But yeah, it's fucking wild, dude. It's insane. They're gonna come out with some super fucking potent shit.
I'll have to check it out.
It's a good movie. I think where is that streaming now? Judge Dredd 2012 streaming. I just watched it the other night. That's what made me think of it. It's crazy how this podcast works. Like we'll talk about shit and it's like something that I've looked into or like been on or but you look up an article after I've watched something about something like that. It's fucking crazy. It's on Hulu right now.
Right.
You good?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. You're like
It's
in and
just,
out, in and out.
yeah, you are too on mine. I don't know whose connection is worse. I guess mine.
I just ran the speed test and mine was fine. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay, so
All right.
for people that don't know, when you live in certain areas, generally speaking, there's goddamn monopolies on electric and internet service, and it's a load of fucking horseshit. And we're finally starting to come out of the dark ages here in our part of Maryland, where you can have multiple internet providers. Unfortunately for Will, right now, he is suckered into Antietam Broadband, and they're a bunch of lazy cocksuckers with their internet speeds. And not saying that Comcast is 100% the best, but at least now we have some fucking variety in this town. You know what I'm saying?
Well, ideally, if we get enough viewers and the show gets big enough, we'd like to do the studio, together instead of doing it like this. We're only doing it like this because we have to.
And it's convenient. And yeah, like he said, we have to, but fuck the internet.
All right. Anyway, I got one last article. This will be a follow up to some of the stuff we discussed last week. For the sake of us trying to stay credible as possible, Dustin and I were talking about a bill. I remember I said I thought a bill passed about how they can't search your car because they smell marijuana in the state of Maryland. Remember that?
Yeah.
All right. This one is out of Ocean City Today. and this came out on April 20th, 420. You pulling it up?
Yeah, where's it from?
OceanCityToday.com.
Okay, what's the name of the article?
Bill stops police from searching based on smell of marijuana across Maryland.
8 days ago.
So, regardless of the General Assembly's passage of legislation that prohibits the right of police to stop or search the vehicle of a person based solely on the smell of marijuana, the old law is still the law. Delegate Charlotte Crutchfield of Montgomery County was the first chief sponsor of HB 1071, which is set to go into effect starting July 1st and is awaiting a signature from Governor Wes Moore. Until the law goes into effect, an individual's vehicle is still subject to a search based on officers' observation of the physical presence of cannabis or the odor of cannabis, said Ocean City Police Department Deputy Communications Manager Ashley Miller.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I have mixed feelings on it because what else can they find searching for the odor of marijuana? But then you also have crooked cops that are going to search because they say they smell marijuana, and it's an easy cop out just for them to be able to search your vehicle. So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
But it's just because, I mean, regardless of, if you get the odor of marijuana, it doesn't necessarily mean you're smoking it. And regardless whether it's recreational legally or illegal in Maryland or, even Virginia, transporting and cartels running drugs through these states that are legal should still be illegal. Like, you should have to obtain a license and, you know, have an established legitimate grow up and distribution channel for marijuana, just like alcohol, just like nicotine or tobacco. It should be legitimized, but that's the problem with the whole fucked up scope of it. It needs to be federally legal.
Right.
You can't have states saying, like, you have this state that, like, say prohibition on alcohol, like Mississippi wants to fucking thump their Bibles and they say you can't buy alcohol in the state of Mississippi. Well, that's going to create a fucking black market, especially from other states that are going to try to go to there. So, I mean, it's like West Virginia, weed's illegal, I think. So now the drugs are going to be able to be ran from Maryland, marijuana, it's still a drug. I mean, weed's not a drug, it's a medicine. Medicines are fucking drugs. They're all drugs. I'm not saying that I don't agree with, people that use it. Yeah, I'm just saying, like I've said before, I want people to be able to do whatever fucking drug they want to do. Everything should be recreationally legal. But with that, it should be recreationally legal and legitimized and have standards and regulations behind it. You didn't hear me, did you?
I heard parts of it.
But yeah, just like, so I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Like, if they federally make it mandated, they pass regulations like through the FDA or whoever they need to regulate the sale, the transportation, all of that of marijuana, that would help.
Right.
And then, yeah, if you fucking, at that point, if you smell marijuana, it's just like if you see someone swerving across the road and shit, or if you pull someone over and you smell the odor of alcohol. So what are we going to do next in Maryland? If you smell the odor of alcohol on someone whenever you pull them over, you're going to be able to give them a DUI test.
Well, that's how it goes.
Yeah. So, I mean, with weed, you have no legs to stand on now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky subject. How are you going to prove somebody smoked or if they didn't? I mean, if their eyes are red, there's a smell of smoke in the car, provided you can search that car because it smells like cannabis. But yet you don't find anything in the car. How can you legally charge somebody with a DWI or a DUI at that point,
Yeah, exactly.
Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, I heard it. Your face wasn't moving, but I could hear you.
Doesn't that isn't that asinine though?
It is. It's fucking dumbfounding. Like, I don't know.
Now,
Like, how are you going to prove? But how? I guess that's like they came up with the breathalyzer and all of that, for alcohol. Well, maybe look into doing that for marijuana too. Like, if
but that's what I'm saying. It's different. With a breathalyzer, you can test them spot on. You'll know that they were drinking within the last hour or so. You can't do that with weed. You can drug test them, and they could have smoked weed a week ago. You know,
But then, I mean, it's not that you can't do it. It just hasn't been looked into. I'm sure there's some kind of, because if you just got done smoking when you get pulled over, you're still going to have something like there's particulates that are going to be in your breath. And you know, as well as I do, like even after you drink something, you still have that taste of
so
weed.
what about edibles though? What if you eat a handful of gummies?
Well, I don't know. I'm
I
stumped on
got you.
that one.
I
I mean,
got you on that one, didn't I?
yeah, because I mean, what are you gonna, but I mean, how would you prove that I'm tripping on mushrooms? Like, I don't know. Have you ever heard of anybody getting a DUI from tripping on mushrooms?
No.
That's probably the last thing I'd want to do while I'm tripping on mushrooms is get behind the wheel of a vehicle.
I wonder in like pills too. Can you get a DUI for being too fucked up on pills, like taking too many perks or
Well, I mean, I'd assume you could on that because it's kind of like heroin, like you nod out and shit. And, you'd sit there and be like, they wouldn't be because you see, there are some DUIs like that where it's not like driving under the influence of alcohol, but it's like, so you're under the influence of something and they know
right?
that you're under the influence. But like, to me, that's when you lawyer up.
Yeah, you'd have to.
And I mean, even after my DUI, like I should have got a fucking lawyer. Lawyers are so good at beating DUI cases. If you turn down a fucking, that's why a lot of states are trying to mandate like forced blood tests, like blood alcohol tests, because lawyers are so good at getting people out whenever they deny field sobriety tests and shit. You got to sit in jail for a little while. There it's not going to, be a take you to the PD, hook you up to the breathalyzer, and then they release you on your own recognizance. You're going to have to see a judge. But I mean, lawyers are so fucking good at getting people off for that.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a criminal, you need a criminal lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. You need fucking Saul Goodman.
Uh-huh. Well, that's all I got for the news today, man. I thought there were some pretty good articles.
Yeah, they were. They were. We've been watching show wise recently.
I have been watching the Game Chasers on YouTube. They were pretty big back in I think they started back in 2012, but it's almost like a variation of Pickers, American Pickers, except these guys go around and they look for like retro video games, NES games, Sega, and retro video game memorabilia and shit. It's pretty cool. It's kind of just like Pickers.
Yeah, I have to check that out. I don't think I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
They're funny guys. They're pretty silly. I mean, it's easy to watch. You don't really have to think about it. You can put it on in the background. What
Yeah,
about you?
we watched it was on Prime. I Know What You Did Last Summer, the
What
TV
the?
show version of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
How
that
was
that was
that?
pretty cool. It was some twists and turns, dude, and it's like the ending of it's wild. I'm not going to give that away because it is a new show, but yeah, it's a pretty cool show if you want to check it out. That and what else have I been watching? Dave.
Oh yeah, I
Did
love
you watch
Dave,
that
man.
most recent one?
No, I haven't. Don't spoil it for me. Dude, that's one thing for everybody listening. That's one thing about Dustin. I swear to God, anytime I've asked him about something good to watch, everything he's told me to watch that he's watched has been good. You do have good taste in shows and movies.
Dave, I think I got you on that. Atlanta. Did
Atlanta?
you watch Atlanta before I told you, or did I get you on
No,
that one?
no, I never watched it before you. And I actually started watching, I think, Breaking Bad because of you, because you watched it way back, didn't you?
I did. I started it way back and then I didn't. I stopped watching after like season 2 or 3. And I think
Yeah.
you finished it all. And I didn't watch it all the way through until this year.
I watched something another one that was real good because of you. Like I brushed it off until you were like, "Nah, it's pretty good," so I decided to watch it.
I don't know. Stranger Things. I've watched that one multiple times. That's a good show. That just
Yeah.
makes me feel like I like the throwback vibe on that one.
Yeah, me too. The retro shit.
And they had this show on Netflix, Archive 81. They canceled it after one fucking season, dude. That's pissed me off, but it was a really fucking good show. It's kind of like it because they have like the techno synth and like the weird music. It's like a ghost story kind of thing, but it's a cool fucking show. It's a bummer whenever you see a show like that and it's like one season. It's like, God damn it.
Archive 81, the black guy with the cassette tape or the
Yeah.
VHS tapes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched that. That was pretty wild, man. That was a crazy series.
Yeah. And then but for them to end it like that, it pissed me off.
YouTube has put the axe on a lot of their shows, man. Mindhunter, that was a great show, and they axed that after the second season. And I know a lot of people that like that show.
There was some speculation that they might do like a delayed season 3, but I think that fell through.
No, yeah, they axed it all together. Like that just recently came out. I saw an article on Google about it.
I watched that show multiple times too. That was a really
I
good
love
show.
it, dude. I love that show, man. Ed Kemper, and then they had Charles Manson on the second season. That was just
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a fucking awesome show. And then what else was there? There's another good one. I don't know. I watch so many fucking shows. But then it's like in between shows, I get super bummed because it's like I gotta search to find something. And I'll try to watch it, and it's like you sit there and you end up, it's like, oh well, I'm never getting that fucking hour back.
Yeah, I know. I did. I burned that on a couple series the past few weeks. I was like, shit, why did I even bother?
Yeah, and the girls and them, they fucking like watching that Love Is Blind shit and all that. And that gets on my nerves. So I'll sit there and make like snide comments. Oh my god, did you see the way he looked at her the other day? Who do you think's gonna win between Brandon and Brian? That's like I fucking hate that shit, dude.
And they get pissed too, don't they?
Yeah, Lacey's like, I'm gonna sit there and do that shit while you're watching a fucking show
Oh my god, dude, the girls watch it too, not just Lacey.
from time to time. Like when she puts it on, they'll watch it, but I don't know. It's so fucking stupid though. I hate those shows. The Circle and all that. Like reality. Get the fuck out of here.
All
It's
right, so
always
then
a sob story and shit.
what yeah, you're right about that too. What video games you been playing?
Rocket League, dude.
You still in the Rocket League?
Non fucking stop. I'll play it on the fucking computer. I play it on the Switch. I play it everywhere. Like I'm fucking hooked on it. And I went from playing like just casual matches. I play ranked matches now. I haven't done a tournament yet. Dude, I get so angry when I'm playing it too because I play with these. Like sometimes you'll get a good team and it's like it's fucking awesome. You party up with them and you play with them for a while, but then you'll get someone and it's like you're going after the ball. You're trying to keep it from, you know, you're trying to make saves on your end. You're trying to score goals, and you got this dumbass in the background just driving around in circles. Or it's like they'll fucking like they're fucking ball hogs. A lot of them. So it's like you'll be lined up for a fucking shot. Like you know where the ball's coming. There's no one from the other team there. You're lined up perfectly for the shot. You hit it and you hit your boost, your nitro to go fucking hit that ball, and bam, they fucking hit you in the ass and spin your car around, and then they hit the ball and it goes back towards your goal.
Is that right?
It's a fast-paced game, dude. You'd fucking love it. It's awesome.
Huh, it sounds pretty cool, man. I've always thought about it. I just got so many games in my queue, like I haven't played in my backlog. It's like, it just I have to add that to the list,
Do you have an actual controller for your Switch, or do you use
Yeah,
the
no, I got several pro controllers or pro style controllers. I can't use the Joy Cons. Fuck those things, man.
when I first started playing with the Joy Cons on Rocket League, I sucked. I mean, and it was because I was just learning how to play, also. But it's kind of one of those things. Like it's like when you start learning how to play baseball, it's good that you had a shitty baseball bat and a shitty glove,
Yeah,
because then when you do get better and you get a better glove and a better bat, you're fucking hitting home runs or something. It's like
you're a beast.
you weren't going to do that regardless in the beginning. So it's better just to start with something shitty. But yeah, on the computer though is way fucking better than the Switch because the delay, it's just the screen that I have. It's I think I've talked about it before. Like your TVs, typically it's a 65 hertz, the refresh rate. On this computer, it goes up to 165 hertz. So the refresh rate, like my timing, like what I see is a fraction of a second quicker than what someone playing on a console sees, even a PlayStation, Xbox. So, but that extra like millisecond when you're playing a game like that makes all the fucking difference in the world.
Dude, if I had $1 for every time I heard you gush about this fucking computer, man, I swear to God, you're in love with this fucking thing, man.
It's awesome, dude. But playing games on it especially, it's like it's image quality that I've never seen before. Like
Here
not
we
Fallout,
go.
but
Here we go.
Far Cry 5, the one that I played, it's a game from several years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And even like GTA 5, that game came out what, 2013? It's almost like fucking photorealistic when you play it on this computer. It's awesome.
You're such a fucking elitist. Like even when somebody brings up computers, you're to the point now. You're like, well, that I would never use that. My Ryzen 508 is way better processor than yours.
Well, yeah, I have a Ryzen. I have the GE Force, and I don't even have the newest one, but it's a 30
Jesus
30.
Christ, dude, take a break, man.
It's a
We get it.
3070.
We get it, man. Take a fucking break, man. All right, we know you have like the Mercedes of computers in your fucking office.
It's not the Mercedes. It's I've got like the high, like I've got like the Ford Lariat version, but there's some dude out there that's got like a Mercedes G class, and
you've got the Ford F-250 Lariat. That's
Yeah.
what you've got. I mean, a really badass truck, not the most expensive in the world, but it's a badass when it hits the street.
Yeah, I don't have a Koenigsegg Agera or anything like that.
Or a
I don't.
King's Ranch dually or anything.
Yeah, this is just a single wheel Lariat. It's got the leather seats, but nothing too much fancier than that.
Got the
But
leather seats, the heated cup holder, the heated seats and everything, but it's not the package that
I want.
Jeb is riding around in, blowing smoke in everyone's face.
What games have you been playing? What have you been playing recently?
I'm an old school guy, man. So I've been getting on the emulators, the MAME, the arcade cabinets, and then I hook up the joystick to the shooters and everything. I love the shooters, dude. The old school 1945 and fucking Gradius and Darius and all those fucking games. So I put the arcade stick in and I play them how they used to be played, and that's really what I've been doing, man.
You play Qbert?
No, I don't play Qbert. I have Qbert. I have it emulated on Auto Bleem.
That shit pisses me off. That game is so fucking frustrating. You ever played Kirby?
Yeah.
That game is fun as shit, dude. They just came out with a new one.
The Kirby series is pretty badass, man.
They had we were at GameStop doing something. Well, it was when we got the new Switch. We were trading in some of the old games that I had for because I'm never going back to PlayStation or anything. So I took all my PS4 games and traded them. But
because of your computer, right?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to say it, but you said it for me.
You were thinking it in your head. You wanted to say it. And you were like, nah, better not.
But they had like the Nintendo. I don't know if he was a GameStop employee or what, or if he was like a rep from Nintendo, but he was standing there by their little fucking demo thing and trying to teach the baby how to play Kirby. I was like, yeah, this is a no-win situation. She's fucking 3 years old, dude. Like,
well, you tried. You got to give them an A for effort. I mean, hell, employees at most places won't even give you the time of day anymore, and you're spending money with them.
Yeah, that's true. He was a cool guy. It just, you're trying to teach a 3-year-old how to play a fucking video game. I have a hard enough time, with that.
Like trying to teach us calculus.
She could fucking work magic with a goddamn smartphone, though. She can do shit that I didn't even know you could do on a smartphone.
I know, man. Kids and phones, dude. They're so. God, I'd hate to have kids and have them get a hold of a phone now. It's like they know what they're doing, don't they?
Yeah, and she's like swiping her fucking fingers all around. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's
she's
3
got
years
this
old.
Annoying fucking thing, Talking Tom or some shit, dude. Have you ever seen that app?
Yeah, the Talking Tomcat.
It just fucking. I talked about it last week. I think it's just.
Yeah, you did.
It's so fucking annoying.
Hello, hey, how are you? Hi, how are you?
It's oh.
I know all about it.
It's like nails on a fucking chalkboard.
Kids love that shit, though.
Yeah, because kids are fucking stupid. Kids are idiots. I said it, and I said it before. Piss people off, and sometimes you just gotta say what is the truth.
Well, reality check. I mean, your kids aren't as great as you fucking think they are.
Exactly.
Let's just keep it real.
Just keep it real, keep it true.
You ready to wrap her up?
Yeah, I think we're good to go. Um, yep, talked last week. I got some inquiry on a guest. He is a electrician. I think he's going to watch a couple videos that we have. I requested that he did that, not to get views, but I want him to know what he's walking into before he's a guest. So
Yeah,
hopefully
that's a
we'll
good
have him
idea.
on soon. He's trying to start his own podcast too. I think he does like old school skateboards and shit. It's kind of cool. I was
All
never
right.
into like skateboarding or anything like that, so maybe he can give us some knowledge.
Yeah, dude, that sounds cool. Hell yeah.
So, but the contact information again, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, of course, YouTube. And then you could contact the cell phone if you wanted to leave a voice message, even if you didn't want to be on the podcast, you just want to share your opinion, or if you have a story to share or something fucked up that happened in your life you need some advice on. We're not going to give you the best advice, but we'll give you advice nonetheless. It's 301-800-8290. Call it anytime, text it, whatever you want to do. 301-800-8290. Or you could email us at ubec.wd@gmail.com. You can email that. You can send us a message to the Facebook pages, Twitters, all that shit, all the socials, however you feel comfortable. But we are looking for some guests, interesting people, schmucks, whatever you want to be. I don't care. We just want someone to come on so we can get a fresh opinion. Well, me and Will know each other. We know our opinions. We want to get someone on here to see what the fuck the rest of the world thinks.
Yeah, we wouldn't mind a third mic for an episode or two. So if that's something you'd be interested in, or somebody that would be interested in, tell them to give us a shout out.
Yep. Or like I said, even if you don't want to be on the episode, but you want to be featured on an episode, send a voicemail, send a text, send a message with your story, something that, or a news article that you found that maybe we didn't cover and you think that we would find interesting. Never hurts to have a little nudge in a particular direction. So
Conspiracy news, robot news, alien news,
AI news.
China news, anything like that.
Before we sign off, though, did you see Hagerstown has fucking drones?
What, the Hagerstown Police Department?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, to combat the dirt bike riders and the four wheelers.
That's what it's for now. One of those things, infrared, dude.
Yeah, I know. It falls into the same category, doesn't it? Maybe we can do a follow up next week on that. Go a little more in depth.
Yeah, let's see how they're exploiting it now.
Yeah, how they're going to exploit it.
Maybe that's our homework assignment for the week is just research like infrared and drone news that led to bus,
Right.
to see how because they're just trying to fuck us over. Big
And
bet.
we're working on merch too, and we're working on trying to figure out a way to get it out to you guys. So we'll let you know in the next few episodes how we're gonna do that. We might just send out some care packages to people that want them.
Yep. So we right now, like what you seen earlier, whenever Will post or put that up, he medicated. We've got several others. We tip
Yeah.
strippers. We've got a bunch of them. So if
Yep.
you guys think they're dope, you want them, reach out
Yeah.
to us. Yeah,
And
we tip strippers.
if you see us out in public or you recognize us, we'll probably have some on us. So we'll give them out for free. These are all for free. So we want to get them out to people. So if you're interested, let us know and we'll keep working on it.
Buttons, pins. I think you were talking about keychains eventually, stickers. I know, and I'll do some shameless promotion right now for a guy, Sticker Kings. He's out of Baltimore, does great job. Professional stickers, great prices. I'm gonna work with him here coming soon to see if we can give him some kind of discount code for you guys. Just for our listeners, people that listen to us, to get some kind of discount. I don't want to say that we are gonna 100% have it, but we'll definitely work on that and working cohorts with him and get you guys some merch. And you know sky's the limit. We'll put this shit on mugs. We'll put this shit on your fucking face. You'll have tattoos on your goddamn faces. Ubec Studios. We tip strippers and delivery drivers, motherfuckers.
We're going to do tampons. We're going to do condoms. We're going to do enemas with our name on it.
We're just gonna go like Kiss.
See, and that's dude. That's the thing. You got to listen to the entire episode. Am I right? Because here we are at the end of the episode. We're working on trying to get you guys free shit. So those of you that listened all the way through, You might be the lucky ones that get some free shit in the next few weeks.
You could be. So keep your fucking ears out, your eyes out. Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts. I'm going to try to find some other platforms to put them on also. So you can get the video three places now. It's Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. And then audio, like I said, Spotify, you can do audio only. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and I'm going to look at some other podcasts. I think you could put podcasts on fucking Audible now, for Christ's sake. So
nice.
We're going to put this shit everywhere, every single distribution channel. We're going to take over the goddamn world, starting with fucking pins and patches and stickers and condoms. So
yes, thank
don't
you.
forget to strip or tip your strippers and your delivery drivers. We'll catch you guys next week.
Later.